So the other riff we're going to look at in this lesson is Come As You Are by the band Nirvana. Let's have a listen to that riff first. So to play along to the original of this track, you're going to need to detune your lowest E string down so that it becomes a D. You're also going to need to detune your A string down so that it becomes a G. But for the purpose of our playing, we are just going to play this in the normal tune, keeping our lowest E and A strings as they were. I just wanted to show you quickly that if you wanted to play along to the original track, you will need to detune that E down to a D and the A down to a G. So very handily, this song starts with 2 open hits of the 6th string, the low E. Nice easy way to start. Remembering hand resting on the bridge and that alternating of the down up strums if we can when we're playing this as well. It's a good habit to get into. So I'm just going to play through the first little part of this riff. Open, open, and then 1, 2 on our lowest E string. Open, open, 1, 2. Nice and straightforward, very similar to our chromatic exercise at the beginning as well. Now this is where we need to start to learn to really create that bend in our knuckle that allows the string underneath to sound, because we're going to want to play the open A after we've played the 2nd fret of the E. So I'm just going to demonstrate that. If I don't have that bend in the knuckle, I get that dead sound, which we don't want. So all together, nice and clear. We then repeat that little pattern. The open, 2, open, 2. I'm just going to show you that. Nice and straightforward. There's a few open strings in here. And as much as that might sound easier, it's challenging us in a different respect because we need to make sure we have this correct curve in the finger that doesn't mute the string underneath. The next section of that song just runs back down the 2nd and the 1st fret on the low E string. So I'm just going to put that on the end of what we've done so far. Now, this is where we need to fret the A string on the 2nd fret with our 2nd finger. And it's reversed the responsibility of having a string open as well as one being played with a finger down on a fret. This time we're fretting the A string, but the low E needs to be open. So let's add that to the end of the riff. So you notice there that we end with 2 open hits of the low E. Then the riff starts all over again, but instead of starting the riff with 2 open notes from the low E, we start by playing that 2nd fret of the A string, then the low E, and the riff starts again. So instead of, you would now get 2nd on the A, open on the E string, 1, 2. So let me show you how that would happen after the riff finishes. Start again. Start with that 2nd fret of the A. 2nd fret of the A. So when we very first start the riff, we know we've got 2 of those opens, but once that riff's finished, it starts again with 2nd fret of the A, open, 1, 2 on the E. There's a little trick if you go onto YouTube or certain music software like Ableton or Logic, where you can slow down the track. YouTube doesn't do it as well. It can sound a little bit funny, but it's worth having a go. If the track that you're listening to is too fast to play along to, you can apply that so it slows down a tad and makes it a bit easier to jam along with. But you can start just playing in the air to yourself with a nice slow pace, reference the track when you feel ready. Sometimes if you put the track on and it does feel a bit too fast, but you haven't got the capabilities to slow it down, or the YouTube sound's freaking you out a bit, don't be worried about just playing those first couple of notes. Even if you're just doing the and then you're pausing and you're waiting for that riff to finish and it comes back to the beginning again, at least you're getting that bit of practice in. You're starting to get a feel for the track, and that's really important. And remembering that we've got our hand resting down on the bridge as well. The term riff is going to appear quite a lot when you're learning guitar. You'll hear people say, I've learned a new guitar riff, I've wrote a new guitar riff, I really like the riff in that song. And what that's doing is it's referring to the section of music that generally repeats somewhere throughout that song. It could be a really distinctive melody from the keyboard or a guitar that will have a beginning and an end. These two songs are a really good reference of that. They really stand out in the track, and you can hear where they loop, where it begins and where it ends. So you would call that section from the start to the end your riff. We're now going to start looking at building and playing chords.
Thank you for making it to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then please think about giving us a little like and a subscribe. And if you want to go further, remember you can hit those links in the description and you'll get access to the full courses. I hope you're feeling confident and creative, and I'll hopefully see you in one of the larger courses one day. Or for now, just have a little scout around on the YouTube channel and see what else you can find. Take care.